You know, I have to say the voice actor for Brave did a damn good job. A round of applause for the voice actor of Brave right now. I think partially why I like killing her so much is the sound she makes every time she dies. It's just, I can't even do it because I'm not a prepubescent girl. But it's just great, and all the mods used for that scene are gonna be, you know, kind of at the end of this episode, because first we need to take a look at the return of Skyrim's biggest Sloot. Of course, I'm talking about Dahlia from Dragon Break. That's right, episode 2 of Dragon Break is finally out, and it's not on the Nexus because he sort of got banned. You know, I feel like if I say anything bad about the mod dictatorship in the Nexus and how Robin can't keep the site up, I feel like I'm gonna get banned from the Nexus as well, so I'm just gonna, you know, shut my mouth here. But what I will say is that it is a damn shame how so many talented modders get banned from that place. So the second installment brings the crew back together again, which is you, the Dovahkiin, Elune, the nerdy prude,
from what I've read, if you collect their bowls, you can make a wish.
and Dahlia, the stupid Sloot,
Although, I do wonder if ghosts can have sex.
to take on another pretty ridiculous adventure that is sort of the result of the time traveling you did in episode 1. So there is some sort of slight continuity. You'll see Talos again, and by 0 you'll see Azira as well. You'll also get a new addition to the crew, the Dwemer ghost named Lorbzen Kalmexapin.
Lorbshid Kalmaxpin? What?
Or you can just call him Lore, and his addition sort of balances the crew out so it doesn't feel like a Taco Fest, Titty Committee, Peach Jam, a Daisy Chain, or a Beaver Den. I just googled what's the opposite of Sausage Fest. I mean, seriously, there's just so much, you know, lesbo-sexual tension going on here.
I could just eat you.
Oh, really?
Those lips. I could just...
Let's go find an inn and I can show you all night.
Oh, yes. Then we could start a unicorn farm, turn purple, fly away into the sunset while defecating rainbows.
And it also makes it so much more interesting because he's also a sexist.
A real man wouldn't have sent females, let alone surface dwellers, to do his dangerous work.
And this is pretty much where the mod shines. You know, the interactions between these characters are really priceless sometimes. I mean, let us be serial here. Going through Dwemer Ruins is getting pretty monotonous. But you almost don't feel it because you're too busy listening to these characters go at it like a dysfunctional family.
Ooh, double burn.
Dahlia, shut up.
The conversations are spread out pretty evenly, and they all talk a lot. Like, I mean, sometimes it can actually get annoying how much they talk, so that it's pretty much never quiet.
If I wasn't already dead, they might drive me to suicide.
I mean, it's great that they have so many, you know, funny lines and stuff, but after listening to it in episode 1 and now in episode 2, you know, you've heard them so many times already that it's not really funny anymore, and they just need to shut the fuck up.
Will she ever shut up?
Oh, it'd be nice if there was an off switch.
And it's not just the shit they say, it's the shit they do sometimes. Like when Elune and Dahlia both accidentally attempt to murder you with crossbows by pulling random levers. And when Elune accidentally murders potential allies, Dahlia just cannot let go of it. At every point she needs to remind her. That is like as good as follower interaction can get, guys. And oh my god, that moment when you see the ghost baby dragon.
It's a baby ghost dragon! Ooh, I'm gonna get it. Listen, oh, I'm gonna name him Boo!
Holy shit, I pissed my pants laughing, man.
Oh, come on, that's funny.
Moments like these is why you should always have Thomas the Steam Engine installed, guys. And what's really awesome too is that the Dwemer Ghost actually gets to stay with you guys at Elune's house.
Yeah, no, this is amazing.
Just like how Dahlia did at the end of episode 1. And this really gets me thinking, you know, he could potentially turn this into some sort of guild mod, and you were like one of the founders. Like Elune's house would become the guild headquarters, and it would also be awesome if he added interactions between all the NPCs at her house, because right now they sort of just ignore each other and say random shit. The only drawback though is that everybody sort of needs to get into position for a scene to start, and if it doesn't start, you know, you can't go ahead because you'll place in an invisible barrier, and sometimes the scenes sort of just freeze, and it gets really awkward, and nothing sort of happens for a long time until you sort of wait for like an hour or so. So yeah, really looking forward to episode 3, and I sort of wonder if he's ever gonna run out of sexual innuendos. So have you ever wanted to live in a Japanese style Akaviri styled home in Skyrim. Well then, you might want to check out the Japan Lodge by Bretty. And surprisingly, I think this is made by Germans. It's not made by Japanese people, so who knows if it's accurate. I mean, there's a Sakura tree in the front, so it should be pretty accurate, guys. This is the same exact location as the Riverside Lodge, guys, and as you can see, still a really aesthetic location. I think this house uses the least amount of vanilla assets of any house mod. This place is as Japanese as it gets, guys. The pottery, the paintings, the sliding doors, the dog on the dinner table, and it's fucking awesome that this place is in the world space and there's pretty much windows everywhere. So if you have some sort of, you know, EMB, then you can see the light kind of shine through the windows. Makes for a really aesthetic looking bathtub, if I may say so myself. It also sort of makes you kind of vulnerable though, because there's literally like zero privacy up here. And also, of course, you know, if you happen to give a fuck, hot tub outside, including, you know, one of the creepiest armor display rooms I've ever seen in my life. You can of course turn the mannequin into yourself. You could also make them breathe. So yeah, if you have some sort of Japanese house craving right now, then you know, go and satisfy that craving. That view though is like so picture perfect. If only the game could actually render that far. And next up, we have another addition to the Dawn of series, this one for Riften. This guy's overhauls don't change the city too much. He kind of just adds certain little things that should kind of improve the city and add to the lore friendliness of Riften. The first thing he'll add is a lot of ladders and hatches into people's homes. This is supposed to add to the thief feeling to Riften. I'm not sure I understand this. Did thieves sort of place these ladders here and leave them here and then sort of create a door into people's houses through their ceilings, and nobody really noticed the fact that they had a ladder appear in their house? There's even a hatch into the Temple of Mara. What kind of asshole steals from the church? He's also made a custom ragged flagon sign outside of the ratways, which I think looks really sexy. And he's added new vendors, such as Branchai, now selling Morrowind goods at his stand. And this guy, who's just sitting at the edge, so vulnerable to assassination, selling books. A whole bunch of boxes to really signify that trade is going on in this city. Or maybe that's just a lot of crack. It could just be a lot of crack. Skooma. And it looks as though he's also unhooked the bee and barb sign from its stake or whatever you call it. So now it's just kind of awkwardly floating around Riften, breaking all kinds of Newton's laws. And of course, every Riften overhaul, you know, in order to improve the lore friendliness of this town, they must add rodents. Overall, some pretty subtle but pretty sexy changes. You should totally get this mod. Alright guys, moving on to the armor mods. From the creator of the Demon Hunter armor that made my top 10s armor mod, comes another armor mod that could have possibly made my top 10s armor mod video, but was literally like a few days too late. And actually, I probably wouldn't have chosen it anyways, because there was too much cleavage for that video, which had no cleavage. So in fact, this is almost borderline nip slip. And it's like just like a little gust of wind could possibly lead to a nip slip, so I can't risk it, guys. I'm gonna have to censor the shit out of this. Seriously, this armor is pretty much a nip slip waiting to happen. And as you can see, Alex Strauss is going so hard for this armor showcase right now, man. She is just turning it up in this Japan Lodge right now. So yeah, a really good original armor mod that is just borderline slooty. Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you want to feel like a little princess? Don't fucking lie to me, Nazim. So the first thing you might want to get is the Summer Skyrim 3 HD by Ichibu, and this is a Skyrim Summer Season mod. You guys know I usually use the Seasons of Skyrim project, but this is a good alternative. It also comes with a shit ton of bloom if you're into that kind of stuff, and it really makes your Skyrim not look like Skyrim anymore. Next thing you might want to get is the Unicorn mod, and this is gonna add a unicorn to your game. And the last mod, to really feel like a princess, you're gonna want to get the YY Anim Replacer, Princess Horse Riding by Yuko. Man, first lovely shout, now some princess riding. Skyrim does not get any more manly than this, guys. But hey, you know, I for one enjoy being fabulous, so all of you can go screw yourselves. I'm just kidding, of course, but this does have 5,455 downloads, 190 endorsements, and 79,000 views. So obviously people are interested in riding horses like princesses. And that is it for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed all the mods I featured in this episode. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for all the best Skyrim mods every single week. Thank you all for watching. Peace.